Alright, good morning YouTube, or afternoon depending on where you are and also what time of the day you're watching, obviously. Now, it's roof rack time for the Defender. No other option for me. Got the front runner in. Got the light bar that I've already used on the previous vehicle. So let's see what we have here. I've already got one stack of slats out. So this is for a 110 Defender, full rack, and this, I think there's two options for leg height. These are the taller option, just so I can get that front runner table under the rack. So they call these the number 8 leg 250mm. So there is another option at about 200mm or something like that. So pretty easy to put together. Let's get everything out. Have a quick little look at the instructions and get our slats together. Alright, so just unboxed everything. Quick check over. Now I've got an end piece. I've got another end piece that I'm reusing with the lights already fitted. So I'm reusing that just because it was a nightmare trying to get that wiring inside the slat. So I didn't want to do that again, so I've just kept that. We've got side pieces, legs. These are the corners for the new back piece, and a heap of slats. So now we should be right to grab a couple Allen keys and probably a 13mm spanner and get into it. Right, now at the back here, I'm going to throw a couple slats next to each other. Got the light bar on the front. Obviously it's upside down at the moment. Now, while it's upside down, it's also a good time to position the table rack, which sits under the roof rack. So we'll put them in there loosely, grab one of the tables, we'll grab Nick's table down without him knowing. Right, now while it's upside down, just going to loosely fit the legs, just tight enough so you can still play around a little bit, get some adjustment out of them. But one big problem that I didn't think about with this light panel and running wiring inside the front runner slat, with the Jeep Wranglers, it doesn't use the typical mounting legs. It actually uses a quite a large pillar, like a pillar mount, which obviously didn't affect where I've gone in there with power. Whereas these legs, or like most legs, that is right in the way. So that sucks. And the front slat is a heavier duty slat because it's kind of, the front bar is attached. Those lights are heavy as well, so it would have been great to have that load directly transferred rather than now. That front slat is only joined by 2 M8 bolts. If I choose to put the leg on the second slat in. May even have to put a couple of joining pieces or something across just so there's more support. I don't know. I reckon that'll get way too heavy to be running just off those two. Rack is ready to be flipped over, and we're going to use these hoists to lift it up and drive the Defender in.
Probably a good 150 mil higher than the rack.
Right, once the rack is sitting up in the gutter, we just need to, trying to do this with one hand. Get in there. There we go. Put the little retaining clippies in. That's these little guys. Grabbing a bolt, a washer, and a spring washer. That bolts up into there. Like that. And we're just cutting some rubber to sit under there and also to sit the feet on, just to protect the panel a little bit. It's not really something everyone would do, but
That's sitting on the guard there, Marco.
beautiful. We're sitting one in there and one under as well. So once that's in there, tightened all of those down, went around and tightened all the legs to the rack. Also, I realised the table was actually in the wrong spot, or the table mount. It actually has to mount further back. So I've just moved that back a bit. So yeah, that's that there. I had it mounted right back here. It starts there. It's quite a good sized table, so pushes it further back. Now for those people running a rooftop tent, that table rack can interfere with the mounting if your rooftop tent clamps up under the slats, like a lot do. The James Baroud, for example, it wants to clamp just in there somewhere, and if you have your clamps or anything sticking down, you can't slide your table in, which is a pain in the ass. I don't know why rooftop tent manufacturers put them so far in, because they're also hard to get in there to do them up. I think they should be outboard more so. To get around that on the Jeep is what I did, was I just put both the clamps for the rooftop tent a little bit further forward. Not ideal, ideally you'd spread them evenly, but it never went anywhere. So now I'm just putting on the corner pieces. Just quickly, you can see what I've done here. I was skeptical of this working, so I've moved that front leg to the forwardmost slat, which is the strongest slat. It was just looking dodgy, looked weird, and that weight wouldn't last in the, hitting the corrugations and off-road and whatever. So yeah, I've managed to move it, which meant moving the wiring. So I've actually drilled a hole through the front runner corner piece, put a little grommet on there, fed it through there rather than underneath in the slat, and that has allowed me to put that leg on that front slat. And you can see how close that wiring is for that first light. So that just sneaks in. So if you are running wiring into a front runner rack, just keep that in mind if you are going to ever have legs on it. you may want to just mount it accordingly, leave room for the legs. As far as the roof rack goes, a few accessories to bolt on, they'll come over the coming days, but that's the basics. So thanks again for watching, stay tuned for more updates.